Alright, what's up? It's our time to be free family. In today's video, I want to talk about a little about dealing with loss. Just give you some tips about dealing with loss. Um, and the reason why I'm creating this video is because I recently lost a family member. So um, I know a lot of times we deal with our loss in different ways. Sometimes, we deal with grief quickly, and sometimes it takes longer for other people. And we all deal with loss and grief and sadness in different ways. So I wanted to just give you guys some tips because sometimes other people looking uh, on the outside, looking in, or looking at you because you deal with it differently, sometimes they can be a little judgmental. I've actually dealt with that myself because I deal with my loss, my grief, my sadness in a whole different way, and I have every right to do that. And so do you. You have every right to deal with it in any way um, that is comfortable for you because everybody is different. So, and just because you deal with it differently doesn't make you abnormal, you know. It just it's just the way it is. So, if you if you have been following me on social media, I recently announced a death of a family member, and my heart is actually torn. And some of the ways that I deal with grief is, meditating, having some quiet time to myself, and processing. I truly believe in, feel the emotions that you need to feel, um, and then deal with those emotions and then heal from it. That's a process that I take myself. Um, previously, I never really showed my emotions to anyone. And I've always heard the saying that if you cry in front of people, that just shows weakness. But I completely disagree. I believe that crying, you know, is a cleanser, and I did that. Um, I did that. You know, I had to release those emotions so that I could actually feel them, so that I can deal with it, and so that I can start moving on to healing. Now, I'm not saying that, um, because healing is a road, it's a path, it's a journey. Um, Sometimes it takes longer than others. I find that if I keep myself busy, and if I find that if I do something to help others, that I can begin to heal quickly. And if I talk about it, I heal quicker. So, those are just some of the things that I personally do, even if other people disagree with me. But that is my fastest path to healing for me, because this is my journey. So, I just want to give you guys a few tips, 7 tips that I think I've previously done a video on this before, but I want to come to you once again because grief is real. So I want to give to you 7 tips to help you, along the way of your path to healing, so that you can, deal with grief the best way that you know how. So, tip number 1 is, you know, if you go to church, if you visit a spiritual center, or, you know, whatever the case is, some people may not go to church. I mean, me myself, I go to a spiritual center. But if you do, a good way for you to start healing is to just talk it over with your pastor, talk it over with, your your leader in the center that you go to, rather it be a church or a spiritual center or whatever. But just talking it out with, someone like that who can help guide you, it really helps. It can really, really make a huge difference in your healing process. Number two is release any guilt that you may have. A lot of times we hold on to guilt, um, because we I'm gonna just give you an example. Um, for me, let's just say for me, I used to feel guilty because I didn't have the opportunity to tell my father I loved him before he passed away. And I felt a lot of guilt behind that because we had our differences, and I didn't have the opportunity to tell him I loved him. So I held on to that guilt for a long time. But what happens is when you hold on to guilt, it just eats away at you. It eats away at you. So release any guilt that you may have, that can prevent you from, healing. Don't hold on to that guilt, because regretting the things that you didn't do, it just harms you more than it helps you. And that's just the way I see it. Um, Tip number three is to, and it may take some time. Take your time. This is a process. Sometimes it goes slow, sometimes it goes faster for others, but slowly start to move back into your normal routine, because when we lose a loved one and we're dealing with grief, it disrupts our whole life. Sometimes we don't know how to handle these things. But, just slowly, start to move back into your normal activities. You know, do your feel those emotions. Take that time to feel them. Take that time to, you know, really deal with those emotions, because our emotions are real. Our emotions are real. So take that time for yourself. Could be a day, could be weeks, could be months. I don't know what it is for you. But just take that time. And once you've done that, just slowly start moving back into a normal routine. I mean, nothing can ever actually become normal for us anymore, especially when we lose someone that's really, really close to us. But, for lack of better words, normal is the word that I use. But nothing is really back to normal. So just slowly try to move yourself back into your daily routine, because it helps you, start to, get back on track with things. Um, the fourth tip is to, guys, really let yourself be loved by others. Sometimes when we're going through grief, sometimes we have to take that time to ourselves, which is okay. But don't stay in that place too long. Accept love from others. Allow yourself to be loved by others, because when allow that love to enter your heart, it can start refilling you up. Nothing can ever replace the loss that you had. However, the love from other people, it could really, really start filling your heart back up, and, allowing you to see that people actually care about you. People actually want to be there for you. Allow that for yourself. Sometimes we have a hard time with receiving. But if you can allow yourself to receive that love from other people, it can do you some good. It really can. All right. And my fifth tip is to really talk. Talk, 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 talk. Talk about it. I know it can be difficult to talk about. Trust me, today I didn't want to talk to anybody today. That's the reason why I'm creating this video, because creating this video allows me to talk about it, talk about grief, talk about how to get through it, how to get over it, how to, start to heal. But talk about it. If you can just talk about it, just have somebody be a listening ear, it just releases. It starts to release, and release that anger or frustration or whatever those emotions that you are feeling at the time. It just helps you to really release those things so that you can be on your path to healing. All right. I know sometimes we're hesitant to call people, and sometimes people are hesitant to call us because they're trying to give us that space. But if you need somebody to talk to, call them up. Somebody close to you, somebody who can just hear you out and allow you to vent whatever you need to vent, because it's important for us to not hold those feelings inside and stuff them down inside, because that just eats away at you as well. I used to do that. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't feel I was worthy, for anybody to listen to how I was feeling when I was grieving. So I would, stuff all those emotions that I was feeling, because I was feeling anger, sadness, hopelessness. I was feeling all of these things. And all I did was I stuffed them down, and ignored my feelings like nothing was wrong. But that tears you up. It eats away at you. So please, just talk to someone. Talk about it. Just get it out. Let it go. Release those feelings that you're having. And the sixth tip that I can give you is, sometimes when you can help somebody else, it makes you feel good inside. Especially when you're going through a grieving process. Because just the feeling of being able to help someone, it feels good all by itself. So, if you can find someone that you can just do have a helping hand for, do it, because it makes you feel good, and it helps in that healing process for you too. That's another reason why I'm creating this video, because I think that no one is exempt from experiencing loss, and I think that this video and these tips can be very beneficial to those who are dealing with grief and who are dealing with loss. And my last tip, number 7, pray, meditate, speak to your higher, the God of your understanding. Do that, because that helps. Take a quiet moment just to, have that peace and serenity of, having a conversation with your higher power. If you believe in a higher power, it helps. It helps. Because sometimes we feel like, what we're going through is just unbearable. And if you ever, need someone to talk to, I'm here. Contact me. All my contact information is usually in my videos. Send me an email or whatever the case. And then we can take it from there. But I just want to let you know that I'm here for you. It's not a lot of people who will help people through things, especially people that they don't know. But I'm here for you. I'm here to, help you get through it, because grief is real, sadness is real, depression is real. I've experienced them all. And I've always said, I'm here to help people, regardless of what that looks like. So, with that being said, those are my 7 tips. I can run them right back through them real quick for you. Tip number 1: if you go to church, talk to your, pastor, your church leader, your spiritual leader, or whatever the case may be. Talk to them, so that you can start, so they can help guide you, and just talk it out with them. Number 2 is to release any guilt that you might be feeling along the way. 3 is to start to get back to your normal routine, your normal activities. Number 4 is to allow yourself to be loved by others. Number 5 is talk about it. Talk about it. It helps. It really does. It helps. And number 6 is if just go out and give somebody a helping hand, because it makes you feel good inside. All right. Now these are only things to do when you're ready to do it. There's no time stamp or anything like that about it. And number 7 is to pray, meditate, whatever you need to do to talk to your higher power. Like I said, there's no time frame for anything, because everybody is different. Everybody, goes at their own pace. Everybody deals with grief and sadness and loss differently. But I really hope that that these tips can really help you, because they've something that I've definitely done myself, and they've helped me along my way. So much peace, love, and happiness. I love you all, and it's our time to be free. Have a good day.